There's only really one way to say this, so here we go. The silver and gold markets, and especially prices, really don't care. It doesn't care about what you think. It doesn't care about what your wants are, your dreams, or your desires. Prices are going to do what they do, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner the gold and silver markets will make more sense. The more it makes sense, the easier it is to listen to the market, to notice the market's subtle behavior, movements, and the messages it sends that most people just don't hear, listen to, or pay attention to. Let me give you an analogy. Investing in gold and silver is like getting into an argument with your significant other. Often you have to choose between being right or keeping the peace. Let Dr. Stacker put you up on some relationship and stacking game all at the same time. When you frame a situation or a conversation as one person being right and the other one being wrong, you set up a zero-sum game where one person loses and the other person wins. This concept actually comes from game theory, but we'll cover that another day. By nature, when in disagreements, most people anchor into their position. They won't shift their frame of reference or change their perspective or check their assumptions or acknowledge anything that might weaken their position. This is exactly what most inexperienced investors do, and especially those in the stacking community. Too often I encounter people who have developed a position and they refuse to accept any other alternatives. And worse than that, they won't even allow logic to get in the way with their argument. Instead, they will twist themselves into a pretzel, trying to make themselves right, rather than accept the truth, change their position, or simply seek peace. Oh, fellas, after that last video and this video, you're all either gonna send me thank you notes or you're gonna unsubscribe, but here we go. Taking it back to relationships. Men, this is where we typically mess up. We seek to win the argument with our significant other, even though winning means losing most of the time. We seek to win, even though we know it will end up with us on the couch, or if you're lucky, you'll be in the bed, but definitely without any blankets. You know what I'm talking about. As an alternative, when you seek to keep the peace, your conversation shifts to find common ground and understanding, seeing where things went wrong, how things could have been misunderstood by the other, how you could have misinterpreted things. Ultimately, you make it an exercise in learning and improving and coming together. It's an exercise that strengthens your connection and understanding. And when you do that, at the end of the night, you end up cuddling, or as Big Spoon and Little Spoon, all night, or at least until someone's arm goes numb. And you know what, ladies? Dr. Stacker isn't afraid to say this, but sometimes, we like being the small spoon. It kind of feels good. Wait, that was too far? That was a man code violation? I wasn't supposed to share that? All right, my bad. Well, let's take it back to investing, because just like in any relationship, when you learn to seek peace with the market, your thoughts shift from trying to understand why the market isn't behaving the way you want to understanding why it's behaving the way it is. You try to see where things changed or went wrong, how you could have misinterpreted or misunderstood the data. This too allows you to grow, as it becomes an exercise in learning and improving as an investor who understands the market better. Now, I realize you didn't come in for relationship advice, but let's call it a 2-for-1, as the main point is that when it comes to the market, be it gold or silver, equities or whatever, you just have to resist the urge to be right no matter what, and instead find peace with the market so that you can adjust and make it a positive outcome when it's all said and done. That is a major part of being a successful investor. I see the opposite all the time. Folks even send me messages telling me that I'm not a real stacker, how wrong I am, and that silver's going to go to the moon any day. These are all some of the same people who are probably still stacking Eagles because supposedly you're going to get your premium back when you sell it. Or they're buying it because some Texas billionaire bought 900,000 Eagles last July and that meant price was going to take off imminently. Listen, I can't tell anyone how to do their business, but I will say this. If someone sold my mom 900,000 Eagles, I'd at least be in jail for assaulting that person. But let's take it back to stacking. Successful investors don't see confirmation bias. They don't look for what they want, wish, or hope for. They see what simply really is. While I'm trying really hard to get away from relationship advice, this analogy just works so well with investing. I want you to think about your significant other or a previous one. That person had a particular personality. Well, hopefully they had only one, because I've definitely dated someone with more than. Anyway, never mind. The point I'm making is that once you got to know that person well, you understood their nonverbals. You can almost look at them and tell something wasn't right. You knew their triggers, what made them happy or upset, or how they responded to each emotion. More importantly, I mentioned the nonverbals because researchers suggest that anywhere from 55 to 65% of communication is nonverbal. I personally believe the same is true when it comes to the metals market. Looking at price is like only hearing the words your partner uses when he or she said, Do what you want. Go ahead and hang out with the fellas tonight. Yeah, they said the right words, the words you wanted to hear, but that was only a small percentage of the communication message they were sending you. Just in case you haven't done the math, those words were only 35 to 45% of the message you were supposed to receive. And let me see, 100% minus 45% equals you coming home to an angry partner. Unfortunately, we treat price like it's the most important indicator, and it's not. It's like only hearing your partner's words. It's the most readily available and easiest information to digest. But remember, your partner said it was okay for you to go out. But if you're smart, you also picked up on the nuance, the tone, the pitch, the pace, the body language that went with that message. The markets do the same thing. Prices may have closed positive, but how it got there almost matters more. That's why I'm showing you some slides on candlesticks. I'm going to strongly encourage you to go check out these websites and begin learning how to read candlesticks and what these patterns tell you. This is an important part of that non-verbal communication and messages that the market will send, but most people don't listen to. For example, when you see this hammer pattern, that tells you that while the price didn't move a ton, sellers put a ton of pressure on the price and buyers came in and drove the price back up. While the inverted hammer tells you just the opposite. Those non-verbal candlesticks and chart patterns tell you a lot more than price ever could. Just like when you understand technical analysis like Elliott wave theory, you can look at weekly and monthly price charts to get a sense of where prices will go. Hold up. I'm not gonna dislocate my shoulder here patting myself on the back, but I am gonna confidently say that the information I'm sharing with you is invaluable if you learn it and apply it. And I'm doing this for free, folks, and all I ask is that you do 3 things in return for me. 1, hit that like button. 2, subscribe if you haven't, and make sure you turn those notifications on. And 3, drop a comment, because all those things will get YouTube's attention and have them push this out to more people. I also watch YouTube, and I know there are many channels out there like Stackers University putting in the work to give you the very best content. Nah, this ain't even content, y'all. This is money-making knowledge and skills. I'm trying to give you everything I got so that you can make more money, be more successful, and get what you want out of life, not what life wants to give you. So help a brother out. Back to price being almost useless. When you learn to listen to the markets, things like daily volume, RSI, and MACD give you very important information about the market. You then learn to look at those technicals like support and resistance and moving day averages. And if you want to learn about investing, I want you to learn that investing is like being in a relationship. You have to learn how your partner, or in this case, the market, works and resist the urge to rely on price or their quote-unquote words for understanding. 55 to 65% of what your partner in the markets are communicating have nothing to do with the words or the price. Remember Rick Rule's words about price. It's a floating extraction if you don't understand value. Here, price is a floating extraction if you don't understand the market's nonverbal. You want to know why it was easy for me to sit out last March to August or so? Because I learned to listen to the markets. You can go back and check my videos if you don't think I'm serious. But what I want to do is encourage you that you can learn how to do these things too. I'm simply trying to show you how the sausage is made. You have to choose whether to make it yourself or go to store-bought and trust what others are giving you. It doesn't matter what market I invest in, I treat my market like a significant other. I want a close, intimate relationship where we move together. I want us to communicate well. I want to learn how to listen to what she says and doesn't say. I want to know how she moves and what gets her moving and what shuts her motor down. Because the more I tend to and care for her, the more she gives back. And baby, let me tell you, there ain't nothing like that situation. Wait, are we still talking about stacking? Is it me or is it getting hot in her? I'm getting so hot. Never mind. Okay, again, I went way too far. Finally, I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert in all these things, but I don't have to be, and neither do you. We just have to be better than a majority of the folks out there, and we will have results that exceed a majority of those folks. We will have bigger stacks with bigger profits, even if they have more money. If you want to continue to learn and be a part of a community where we are learning together, I want to encourage you to get over to Discord. It's free. If you want to really elevate your learning, consider a channel membership, because we've already done an introduction on Elliott wave theory in January, and this month we're going to be focusing on reading candlesticks. You're spending thousands of dollars buying metals. Even if it's not with Stackers University, at least invest some money in you and your learning so that you can be the best investor possible, so your stack can continue to grow more efficiently. In the comment section, did you learn anything that would help you in your personal relationships? Did the analogy of being in a relationship make sense? When it comes to listening to the market's nonverbals, which do you need help with or would like for me to cover in greater detail? Or just put an A+ in the gradebook comment section to make sure everyone knows that you get full credit and you're always my A+ student. Always stack smarter, never stop learning.